Hey, welcome back. I'm Michael, and this is the Movie Club with Friends, and these are my friends.
You're supposed to say your favorite Glee.
My favorite what?
You always say your favorite.
Oh, yeah. Well, I wanted to switch it up a little. Anyways, so this week was a Jared pick. Jared has a legacy to live up to. He has picked 10 out of 10 bangers. Will he live up this week? I guess let's find out. Jared, why did you pick this movie with a question mark?
So I've seen this movie a few times. I've always really liked Master and Commander: The Far Side of the World film.
Oh, really quick.
You didn't say what it was.
I forgot to say what movie it was, and I forgot my joke that I was waiting to say all day. Okay, so the name of the movie was Master and Commander: The Far Side of the World.
Here we go.
It has the world record for longest movie title in
That's
the world.
That's true.
Why isn't it just called Master and Commander?
Showstopper.
It's
right
probably because I'm pretty sure there's a book series called.
Yeah, it's
Master and
based off of a
Commander,
book.
And it's based on like
Oh.
the 10th book in the series or something like that.
Yeah, it's based off of two books technically in the series. It's like there's a book called Master and the Commander, and there's a book called The Far Side of.
Also,
what's title again?
the ending is like really cliffhanger-y. Like, it could definitely be a second movie.
Oh, I like the
Yeah.
ending.
What
It's
No one
cliffhangery,
said it was bad.
but it's cliffhangery. No. Okay, it's cliffhangery, but we'll get more into it when I talk. But I have something to say about the ending.
Okay.
At least I'll keep going. Let's see. I give this movie a 9 out of 10. I kind of love this movie. It's got something going on for it. It's not your typical just where the English are at war with the French. War. It's really about what life was like on a, I guess, war boat during that time period. You got a lot of shots of just like what the crew was doing, them hanging out, what they were talking about. You get to see some of the trials and stuff that like happened, like what happened whenever the weather got bad and they're kind of just trapped there for a while. People got angry. People started talking about curses and whatnot. Even the captain was starting to believe it. And then obviously, they put this on one guy, and some people aren't made for that type of life. Saw that one guy kill himself because he just couldn't take it anymore.
Well, he was cursed.
And then there's other things like that. You got to see what happens when a doctor gets shot. They only got one doctor on the ship. You don't want to be the asshole who shoots the doctor. By the
That
way,
was
definitely not surviving.
Stupidest fucking
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah,
If he died, I was gonna be so mad.
he's the only character I liked.
Same.
He
And
felt
then
okay.
I don't know, just funny things. Just the friendship between the doctor, the captain, the fact the doctor never actually got to stay in the Galapagos long enough to catch his critters and record all
I
that
felt
stuff.
so bad for him every time.
I don't know.
Well,
I
he's
just
an
like-
intellectual on a ship of morons.
Most
He's
morons
a-
were
he's a-
pressed into service, so they didn't really have a.
If he's an
Saying
army
it.
doctor, you know. There's a lot of stuff I need to say about that, but we'll wait.
Yeah, everybody had their part. You got to see like a lot of the younger, I guess, those kids were basically the ones who were actually supposed to be in the service because they're getting trained to one day take higher positions. You saw like a one-armed kid leading the fight there in that final battle.
That kid was my favorite character.
The kid was
Man.
like 11.
Well, apparently
Dude,
that's just how it was back then.
That
So-
like bugged
Got
me.
trained up young.
Can you explain? Can someone explain this to me? Like from
It was a different
I don't
time.
know.
Great
any-
opportunity for a kid in that era to.
why? Yeah, why were there children
It's just a
like
different
You gotta
leading
time.
men?
You gotta instill leadership at an early age in that time because
Shut
you only live super.
No way.
Yeah, they only live.
Rude.
Truly, they only live to be like 30.
But
Like
like,
one
why
guy,
not?
almost
Why
turned
not?
30.
Why not get the 30-year-old to lead rather than
Russell
fucking
Crowe.
11-year-old kid?
Russell Crowe died of old age shortly after that movie.
That is true, also.
He was 42.
No, but I'm serious. Like that was like what they did back then. They would pick from a higher upper class echelon of civilians, if they're upper class, whatever, and then they would choose them to be leaders in military fashions, and then they would just put them in those lives, and that's how they
Was it voluntary?
best.
50-50.
I actually don't know, but
That's a good.
I know that
Upper
the best
class,
way to
maybe.
Why are
the-
you
the
the,
best way to
absolute
learn is-
expert on all things military, Jeff? I don't.
I took like 6 military classes.
I would assume they would be if there are high, rich folk being drafted into the army.
hmm
Unless it was like wartime and it's like, okay, we're drafting as many people as we can.
Well, that's what they
the
definitely did in
case.
this movie because they mentioned
Yeah.
it. But yeah. Anyway, I actually like the movie. It's got more going on than just war, just life, I guess, on the ship.
I did
Um,
appreciate that, Jared, because like when the movie started and like the first thing I see is like, oh, this is war, and I'm just like, damn it, it's a war movie.
I did think about that, but yeah, I mean, then it changes.
no, I mean it's not like the other war movies that we've all seen together. Like this really wasn't that bad.
Wow.
It was more about the culture of being on the ship.
I'm
Shut
trying to think if I have
up.
any other points. If I do have any other points, I'll bring up whenever somebody else is talking. Mike, I guess you can go.
What is your rating?
He
It was
said,
9 out of 10. I
Yeah.
loved it.
"Oh, please post that in the movie club chat."
Yeah, so.
Okay. I'm gonna give this movie a 5. Watching this, sitting down and watching it, I realize I have seen this movie 800 million times.
Whoa.
A lot of times.
That
it's
seems
just,
like a gross exaggeration.
no.
Can you-
It's one of
can you
those
continue?
movies that was always on at like one of my mom's boyfriend's houses, always on TBS.
That's why you don't like it.
I don't.
It's one of your mom's boyfriends.
It would always like.
Yeah.
It would always just like be on in the background at wherever.
Just
Like
imagine the old people. Lesser of two evils.
I would always see just clips of it, and like, so I've seen this movie before. Like when the doctor got shot, I'm like, I was like, okay, I have seen this. Now I know the name of this movie. I don't really like it.
I still don't.
I thought it was really boring. I just didn't enjoy it. There are some parts where it's okay. I do like the doctor. I do like the relationship between the doctor and the captain. A lot of movies with accents I have troubles with, because I just sometimes, as we can all tell, I'm not great with language. So when they have accents, I'm like, oh, like I don't know what they're saying.
Why didn't you put the closed captions on? Like, this is not
Okay,
an
so
issue that you should have.
rented it. I rented it off of YouTube, and for some reason, it didn't have closed captions. I
We rented
swear
it
to
off of
God.
YouTube.
I
And
swear to
it
God.
had closed
After
captions.
this, after we are done, I will share screens with you, and I will show you that there was no closed captions on the version that I rented. I always
That can
watch.
affect your enjoyment.
I always watch movies with closed captions. This one didn't have it. Some of the lower deck people, when they were talking, I was like, "What are they saying?"
They were actually really funny. Like, it's too bad you didn't have them on, because like they were like, they would say things like, yeah, like pull her as hard as you're trying to pull a Frenchman off your mother. Like that's like, like they would say things like
See,
that.
I missed that.
I also like how they did their teeth and stuff like that too. You could show these were poor people. They did not have great hygiene.
I like the old grizzled man with the tattoos on his hands. I forget.
The
I
one
forget.
that
what
had-
Characters like me, I like him.
I
The
forget
one
what
that
they
kept
said.
saying like weird, ominous things the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought
Why
he would
did
play a
you
bigger
like
part.
him?
I just thought his tattoos. I forget what they say, but I just
hold line.
yes,
fast.
hold
Hold
fast.
fast.
Yeah, those
Hold fast. There you go. Hold
those
fast.
those were badass. That's all I liked that. It was cool.
I like tattoos.
That's not even. It's just he's this old grizzled man who's been on a warship his entire life.
But if he didn't have tattoos, how would you distinguish him from the other ones?
All right, sorry. Anyways, what I wanted to say about the ending was it kind of does go with the flow of it's just life on this ship. Because he realized he fucked up, and the doctor's like, "Oh, you," and he's like rolling his eyes back, and it's just back to business. Like we didn't actually accomplish anything. Like we fucked up.
And
Let's continue.
And you don't get to do your hobby. You have to go.
Yeah, and it
or
Science
let's
advancement
continue.
for you.
Or let's continue to never see our families again. We're just
No.
gonna be on here for another 2 years.
Yeah, so it goes out to that they're sailing out more and they're gonna go back to battle this ship, maybe, and maybe more of their friends will die, but they don't care. It's this lighthearted moment where they're like rolling their eyes at each other.
Well, they don't have to-
that-
they don't have to
Oh,
make the ship,
Captain!
It wasn't that lighthearted. Okay.
Mike. They still have control of the ship. They're just making sure that it gets there on time.
I know,
It's not
I
like-
know. Well, what if they
Unless
get
there's
there
something-
and they're all slaughtered?
Yeah, I was
Oh,
kind of
that
worried about
happened.
him.
Most
No,
of the
yeah,
crew is
I'm
in
legit.
I wanted,
in the brig or whatever.
and you know what? I wanted the end of the movie, so
The brig.
they attack the ship, they get on the ship, all the crew's dead, and they get into like the captain's quarters, and you just see like Napoleon just like sitting on a throne, and he's just like, Baka.
Shut up.
Yeah, because Napoleon would be over by Brazil.
No, Napoleon, he's like Super Saiyan or something. That would be cool. That would make that movie a 10 out of 10.
And then Broly flies in.
You guys are dorks. Okay, so it was kind of boring.
Yeah, that's all I have
You
to say.
Is that the only reason why you didn't like it?
Rating.
It was just boring. And this is just something where the story didn't really do anything for me. I just boat life in the olden times. I would want to see a story more about pirates than naval.
They already
Pirates
did
that-
lots of those.
There's a whole series. There's a whole series of those.
I've seen those, and those are pretty
Nothing of
okay.
the Caribbean.
I'm glad you guys got what I was going for. But yeah, I'm. That's all I have to say. It was just, it's not my cup of fancy English tea.
I don't think you could describe any of these people as being fancy.
Well,
really,
they were
really.
drinking fancy English tea out of fancy cups.
The two, the captain and the
Yeah, the
Doctor.
doctor.
doctor, were pretty fancy. They got
I
to play
liked-
instruments together.
How everyone respected the doctor. They didn't.
Same.
Some of them.
Yeah.
Didn't, some of them. No, but some of them. Some of them didn't really respect the captain, but like everyone was in love with the doctor. When he was shot, they were all worried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, why would you?
Hey, doctor, I got this thing. My arm is black. Please don't let me die.
Hey, just because he's a doctor, you don't have to respect him.
I would.
Anyway.
I would.
Anyways, I don't have anything to say about this fucking movie. So, Julie, why don't you grace us?
Okay, on a super side
My
note, just
score
because
is a 5 out of 10. I'll say I liked it. I see that Jared did not post his. Thank you, Jared.
Yeah, he did.
on a super side note,
That's
because we asked earlier, like for the longest movie title in the world, the longest movie title actually goes to Night of the Day of the Dawn of the Son of the Bride of the Return of the Revenge of the Terror of the Attack of the Evil Mutant Alien Flesh-Eating Hellbound Zombified Living Dead Part 2, aka Zombies with an exclamation mark is the title.
Okay, they did
1991.
they did that just to have the title.
It's a parody film, apparently.
I get. I
think someone
thought
mentioned
so.
it.
I thought it was a parody.
Anyway, okay, so talking about Master and Commander, I think I'm probably gonna rate it like a 6, and probably disliked Like it was still like I think I overall enjoyed it, but um what can I say? I always have like a really big issue when movies don't have a lot of like they don't have good character development. Like I think I complain about this a lot, but whenever a movie doesn't have character development and we're kind of just like thrown into a situation and we're supposed to care about these people who are either dying or not dying, or they have accomplishments that we're supposed to, you know, like applaud them for, but I don't really know like I don't know, I don't know, like I don't know why I should like this person, you know, like, or why I should care about this person. And I don't think that they really did that until like the middle or the end of the film. I'm finally like, okay, like I guess this captain's all right. Like and I let the doctor was likable from the very beginning. But like all the other side characters, like even in the end with that the second little boy captain, lieutenant guy that was killed in action. I don't remember what his name was, but
Yeah,
I called him eyebrows.
were we
Calamy.
supposed to feel sad? Like he had like 2 lines.
That's exactly what I mean, though. Like
Yeah.
that's what like I have a huge problem with that, and like I think that they did okay with Russell Crowe, and I think Paul Bettany, however you say it, did a really. I think he's my favorite. Like the Doctor by far was my absolute favorite because he probably had like the most dynamic like character. Like he actually had like other expression
Mm-hmm.
in the movie. I don't know. Like a lot of the characters felt really flat, other than the Doctor. Like and I like the little boy I liked a lot, actually. Like the I don't even know his name, but that's what I mean. Like they Blakeney or something like that. Like he was okay too. Like I think they kind of focused on them, but it took me a really long time, I felt like, to be like, who are the important characters other than the captain in this film? And obviously like the captain is the star of the show.
It is just the captain of the Doctor.
Yeah, it really is.
They had the one kid that they were hyping up, and then he dies. And then I was like, was that the kid that was at the dinner and then on the little boat thing? Is that the one that just died?
Mhm.
And then it was, but then it took me like 20 minutes later, and I was like, okay,
To
that
figure out
kid's
who
not
it
there
was.
anymore. I'm assuming that's the kid that they left behind.
Yes, like it's actually really like I had to Google it in the middle of like us watching it. Be the one who went aboard, like the what is it? I don't know what it's called. Overboard. Yeah, whenever the character went overboard, I'm like, who was this person? Like they're like, oh, this isn't going to be good. Like the crew really loved him. Going to
Yeah.
be very popular for us. And I'm like, who was it? Who really liked him? Like, and the fact that I have to ask that question really, really bothers me. You know what I mean? Like, I think what I appreciate from film is that, like, I think it really does like show like the life of like living on a boat at this time. And I think all the scenes are like really interesting, and there's like lots of detail. And like one of the things that I really like is that in the background, you like everyone seemed to be actually doing like legitimate boat stuff. Like if you really, really look, like it's not like they're just like standing around and like, I'm gonna hold this rope and pretend that I'm, sailing a boat. I think that I think I read later, which is funny, like that they had actually everyone on the crew got like training on like how to actually operate this boat before filming. So that makes me happy. Yeah, I don't know. Like it was so like it was interesting to me, but it was just like, okay, I don't think I want to see it again. I thought it was interesting that maybe someone else can comment on it, but this movie won 2 Oscars, one for best cinematography and best sound editing. And I don't know if
Sure.
I mean, like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, okay, like, I guess that's a thing to,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I guess that's a thing for why I should win.
No, when you're talking about they had like proper training and stuff, I just like in my head, just like you see someone in the back, he's got like a map, but it's like clearly like upside down. He's just like staring at it. Also, really quick, did the Doctor look like Elijah Wood to anyone else?
No, he did look.
He's
He did
actually-
look like Vision to me, and then I found out he is.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Oh, that is Vision.
Yeah, that's Vision.
Oh, okay.
But I did want to point out the cook. I really like the cook. I don't remember what his name is right now, but like
Kenneth, I
the
think?
Killick, he was just like, oh well, that's my last thing of beer, and like he just like hate like or rum. He just like hated his life, and I really enjoyed his like commentary.
Hey, you know that's the life of a cook, man.
He was just so unhappy all the time. He's like, just wait, it's coming when it comes. Like,
Yeah.
I liked it, but yeah, it was just okay. It was just kind of boring. I think there was like one time where I was starting to fall asleep, and then it got exciting again, and I woke up. So
Yeah, I had to.
Was it you guys are falling asleep?
I had to pause it twice, and then I ended up watching it out of bed in my computer chair because I was like, I'm falling asleep. I can't keep my eyes open.
yep, it was only in one part, Jeff. I don't know why. I can fall asleep anytime, anywhere. It's a gift, really.
Yeah, I'm always sleepy. Anyways, let's
You're
hear
always asleep, Mike.
from Garrett because he's talking right now.
Oh, okay. Geez, you put me on the spot. I'm usually not till later.
Switching it up today.
All right. So I think I'd give this one a 6 out of 10. I liked it. I thought it was okay. The whole plot, I guess, was him trying to track down this elusive French ship. And I don't know. I feel like they did it decently well, just with like most of the adventure, I guess. The adventure part of it, I did like. But again, I didn't get to know any of the characters. Like
Yeah.
Julie said, like you really don't have an emotional attachment to anyone except the doctor, and maybe the one-armed boy, because he only has one arm. And you feel sorry for him.
Oh my god, I forgot to mention the very end when he wants to what is it called? Like sew up the other little lieutenant guy, the other young kids
Oh, yeah.
thing. He's just like, no, I'll do it. And he's like, oh, I
Yeah.
only have one arm. Help me.
Yeah.
It was so that was so awkward
It was so awkward.
because they should have done that a different way.
I
That
like
was really weird.
also.
I thought it was kind of funny. I mean, like, I don't know if I wanted them to get rid of it because I thought it was pretty hilarious.
Really quick, I liked when Russell Crowe like caught that sword that was stabbing him.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
That was badass.
yeah.
Warrior
Quick
reflexes.
reaction times.
They're
Oh,
probably pumping with adrenaline.
And the Frenchman just crawls back under the desk.
I
know.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And then
so weird.
Gabe had a thought about how he wished Russell Crowe actually knew how to play violin. Russell Crowe learned how to play violin just for this movie.
He said it was one of the
Oh.
hardest things he did for a film.
That's
Yeah.
awesome because it did look like he actually knew how to play. Not that I
Yeah.
know how to play, but he looked like he knew how.
I would say this. Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. I'm like, yeah, from my ignorant point of view of knowing how to play instruments, it looks like he knows how to play.
Yeah.
And I did like the parts whenever him and the doctor would play, and then you'd hear that music come back in whenever him and the doctor were having friendships or disagreements.
And then they made out.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
There's definitely a little bit of like they've been out to
Speak to
sea.
me as a friend.
Not a lot of women around. They're a little lonely at night.
Yeah, this could easily be adapted into a porno.
What happened to this conversation?
Well, when they were at land and like Russell Crowe was staring at that woman, he's like, I should go talk to her, and he's like, no, I gotta go back. And he's like, no, I should go talk to her. And, no, I should go back.
Julie had a problem during this scene
What was Julie's problem with that scene?
because indigenous peoples, how we
Julie,
murdered them all.
Julie, it was a different time, okay? It
What?
was cool.
Oh, yeah.
It was
The
cool
time
back
where-
then, okay?
Yeah, and now they're not
cool.
here anymore, and their descendants are hardly here anymore. That's how bad that time was for those people. It's intense. I have to comment on it every time.
Yeah, it sucked.
It's funny, like it's one of the first things I said whenever I thought it was a war movie, Jared, because like I said, I corrected it. It wasn't like it's not a total like 100% this isn't like Apocalypse Now awful war movie. But it is like somewhat there. And in the very beginning when it started out and like they're just like fighting and everyone's dying and getting killed, I was just like, ugh, why do men like war so much? And then Gabe made a comment like, well, to be fair, we don't know what women would do if they were in charge of the world. I'm like, we wouldn't
Wow,
do this.
Gabe,
We
that's
wouldn't.
so progressive of you, Gabe. I'm proud of you, buddy.
Hey, I'm just bringing it up, you know. Who knows what would happen? Same things could happen.
It'd be a better world, is all I guess.
Ah, maybe.
Be a better world for women.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, let's not get into
Anyway.
this. Let's talk about movies.
And I'm like, is that a problem? 'Cause
Yeah, I don't know.
I think less
Can I
people
talk
would
next?
die.
Did we? All right, come on.
Yeah, I don't have anything else.
All right, Jeff, you're eager.
I am eager. I am because. Okay. All right. I'm gonna preface this with before you guys go. What? So I have my personal opinion and I have my objective opinion. My score is an 8 out of 10, and I hated it.
What?
That's
God,
okay.
what are you doing?
So
Yeah, okay.
No, you
All right,
can do
listen,
that.
listen.
That's the whole reason why we have 2 rating
I-
systems.
I objectively think this is a really good movie. I can see, you know, the good writing, the storytelling, whatever, all the whatever, but I fucking hate ocean movies and boats and ships and boat fight. I hate the ocean. And I hated literally the first hour of this movie. I was just like, oh, I want to kill myself. But then for like probably 30 minutes, I was like, oh, okay, this is okay. But then it went back to, oh, I want to kill myself again. So I'm gonna divide this movie up into thirds. So 1/3 of the movie was, come, we can't keep going. The old boat's not gonna make it. We're gonna keep going. The day later, we made it, Captain. You're so smart. The next third.
What is
fucking?
what?
That's the hurricane that's going on. You
Is
can't hear
Donald
shit.
Trump in this movie?
Yeah, what is happening?
Exactly. You just see camera shaking. Whoa! Ocean wind. Wow! Water. And then the other half, the other third of the movie. The other third of the movie was, I want to see animals. I want to do war. Well, I want to see animals. Too bad. So this movie was, I thought it was really good in terms of being objective.
Jeff,
There were parts.
that's why Jeff's your friend.
Oh, that killed me.
Michael.
Holy shit. That killed me.
The little boy made the movie for me, just like how fucking eager he was to learn and how eager he was to
He lost his arm.
be the
Jeff.
best he could be. I know, but did that deter him? No, he said that literally the next day he was like, I'm fine, sir. Give me a book to read. I will make a better leader of myself. And then he's like going to the doctor, he's like, teach me science. Teach me leadership. And then the fucking actual fighting happens, and he comes in, his little cap and hat, and his little arm patched up, his little pistol, and he's like, fuck you, and he murders someone. This
Yeah,
little boy
that's
was
intense.
just, he was fucking, he
The
was a
murder
hero.
is so good. Yeah, we
He
should-
is like a perfect mix between the captain and the doctor.
That's exactly, he's
Yeah.
gonna be the super leader. But anyway, I liked the dynamic between the doctor and the captain a lot. I thought that was pretty interesting. I did feel bad for the doctor so much, but at the same time, he is a military doctor on a military ship. Just because, he, in their minds, during that time, war was everything. If diplomacy didn't work, then war was a very valid option. Where now, if diplomacy doesn't work, war is pretty much out of the question because everyone's a democracy now and nobody wants war. But back then, war was a very valid option, and it was a very not likable thing, but it was something that pretty much everyone did and wanted. Whereas he saw the science expedition or whatever as just a hobby, something not very important. So that to me was understandable. I mean, but thinking in now times, I was like, man, I felt the Doctor was like ahead of his times in terms of like, it felt like he was from the future and was just like, these fucking idiots won't let me advance humanity. Like, but
because it was
beyond
so far ago, there was more flexibility. Like the captain could like the Doctor and be like, all right, we're going to stop here for a week so that you can go do your shit. So that was interesting.
The fighting was okay. I don't like ocean stuff, naval battles.
The fighting would have been better if it was on land. They were doing the same thing.
I liked the part where the captain in training killed himself. I didn't like that he killed himself, but I liked the dynamic that out of the children who were selected to become leaders, not all of them can be leaders, and that was a good example. He's destined by from his family, his destiny is chosen essentially, and he tried to be all he could be. He really wanted to attain those dreams, those destiny or whatever. He wanted to make his peers and his family proud, I'm sure, but it just wasn't in his personality and in his character to be that kind of a person. And this was immediately, the captain knew immediately that this was the case when he brought him into his quarters to like give him, like talk to him or whatever. Like, you can't let them not salute you or whatever and you walk past them. But like after his whole spiel, what he was trying to get to was, he was trying to say, you need to understand the values of leadership and then like build a core values and core traits, and then from that you will just automatically do the right things and they will respect you for being a good leader. But what he heard was like study materials, like a test or whatever. Like he saw that conversation as like a test or whatever, and you knew that because at the end he was like, strength, leadership, respect, got it, sir. He just viewed it as something you could study, where yes, you can study leadership, but a lot of it's just in who you are and how you present yourself and what you do innately, I guess. But the captain saw that he wasn't able to do that, but he didn't really know what to do at the time, and he had bigger fish to fry. After the whole crew kind of just went like, fuck you, I felt bad, but I can understand why he did that, because his life was essentially like, to him it probably seemed like all the doors were closing in front of him in terms of attaining those goals and dreams of becoming a good captain. What else about the movie? So yeah, objectively, I think it's good.
It's also another thing I forgot to mention. I was like, the other guy who he made captain of the other boat at the end, and there's just like this moment like, oh, thank you so much, captain. Like, he's like, no, I'm captain. Like, oh, all, like, huzzah, the new captain. And I was just like, who is this dude?
Yeah.
Like,
That's what I
seeing him around.
I was
kept
like,
seeing him around, but like,
I was like, was that the background character number 6? Like, who was that? Who was that guy?
Also, how did the news travel so fast that he became captain of the other boat? Like, he literally just told him right there. Like, was everyone just peering in, listening?
That's true. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, he stepped on the boat, and automatically his presence was known, and they're all just like, oh, he's the captain. He's the captain. He's the captain. He's the captain.
I mean,
or
probably
fills around him.
Something like that. I mean, you can assume, hey, the captain of that boat is over there. The guy who is training to be a captain, who's the farthest in training to be a captain, is coming to this boat. Gonna assume it's gonna be the captain now. I can see it. You guys are making excuses.
We're just playing the devil's advocate.
But yeah, so objectively, it's a good movie, well written. I liked a lot about it, but I fucking hated almost all of it in terms of enjoyment and personal opinion. So 8 out of 10 hated it.
That's
just
fair.
always in a constant battle with your emotions, Jeff.
I like that though. I mean, you came in with a level head.
Yeah. Gabriel.
Are you saying don't, Johnny?
Personal opinions can skew your answers.
So for mine, I'm gonna probably do 7 out of 10 in liked.
Okay.
I kind of a lot's already been said about it as per usual, so I will kind of just talk about some of the things
I will
personally liked
try
about
to
it.
move you up next week, Gabe.
Thank you.
I always forget.
Knowing
Remind
the next
me.
movie, I would love to.
Remind me.
Okay. First thing, the Weevil, was that a bread or was that the little maggot that was on his plate?
Maggot.
It was the maggot.
The maggot. Okay. I want to make sure because it's like I've never heard of Weevil bread. Okay, that was the first thing I want to get. So with a lot of movies, I can appreciate movies that implement a lot of realism. And I think this movie did that really well. They don't fast forward really through all the in between stuff.
Mm-hmm.
As in, like the first battle, they got fucked up. They ran away through the fog, and then it shows them, repairing their place, going bartering for some items, getting more food. It shows like the whole process to getting repaired, back up to speed, and then back out there. And I don't know, you never see that in movies, and I think at some points in the beginning, no, I get it. It's a little boring, but I did appreciate some of the parts because I just don't see that very often. So
Yeah.
it can be boring on some areas of that, but to me it was kind of a little intriguing for like them painting the boat again. Like I don't know, I would have never thought that they repaint it and stuff like that, like at sea. So that was.
That guy was just like holding on too, wasn't he?
Yeah, there was this
like
whole.
super dangerous.
Yeah. And that they repainted the ship whenever they tried to disguise themselves. The small details here and there were really interesting to me. Let's see. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to talk about this, but whenever that bird was going around, I either thought of two options. Either the bird's gonna get shot and the doctor's gonna get pissed, or he shoots the doctor, and he fucking shoots the doctor. And I'm just happy that he didn't die, because there was still a lot of movie left, and I don't know if I could have done it without the doctor there.
Right? Oh, right?
He was really helping out. Let's see. Oh, whenever so that throughout the movie they show the relationship between the captain and the doctor, and where it's strained, where they're good pals. Even though the captain is kind of a bullish character as far as him, and you could say like egotistical in a sense of like, maybe it wasn't actually the best idea to keep going after the ship, but he wanted to do it, and it was hard to tell if that was for his country or if it was more for his ego. Like he got messed up by that ship that he just wanted to take it out. So when you think about that, you don't think of him like, oh, he's just an aggressive dumbass or something, but there was like an intellectual side of him. He knew how to play a piano or play the instrument. So I don't know. I liked that they could have similar interests and actually connect like that. And that's why they were, I guess you could say, friends in that sense. And whenever the doctor was shot, I don't know. This is like super small, but I appreciate this moment. And the captain's been in tons of battles. He talked about all the time, and he was feeling squeamish working on his buddy. And whenever the doctor was, operating on himself, he looked over at the doctor like, "Hey, are you okay?" Kind of like poking fun at him. And he had like a cheeky little smile going. So yeah, it wasn't like an actual like, "Are you okay?" He was like making fun of him because he was acting squeamish.
Mm-hmm. He was worried about his friend.
Yeah, no, I know, but it was still.
Yeah.
And I guess the last point I'll bring up is I loved Killick. He was like the Hodor of this movie.
No, Killick wasn't Hodor. It was another guy that was Hodor.
Hannon or Haddock
What?
or something like that.
Yeah. The guy
Haddock?
that they made to hold all the baskets and just
I thought it was
everything.
Killick. Okay.
No, Killick was
the cook.
captain's like personal aide.
Got it. Man, I see. That's another thing. I get confused by these people half the time.
So you like the guy that was on the journey with the doctor?
Doctor and one-armed boy, and then the guy that carried all the
Okay,
baskets.
so what was his name?
It was like Paddock, or so start with a P.
Paddock. Okay, because they did it both with Paddock and Killick. They're always saying their names like, do this, do that, Paddock, Killick. I don't know. It was just like, he was the gopher boy of the movie. I guess two of them were, really. But I thought they were the same person. Jesus.
I like the tortoises. They were cute.
turtles are cute.
Yeah.
Other than that, I guess that's all I got for it.
Okay.
Padine.
Well,
Oh, Padine, yeah.
John, it's your time to wow us with lighting
It's my
effects.
turn already?
Lighting effects or the color scheme. What do you
Don't
got?
stereotype John's brain like that.
What do you got for us, John?
I feel you, John. I feel you.
Okay.
Is it because you hate water, John?
I do have a similar hatred for this type of genre. I don't know. I'll give this movie a 5 and a dislike.
Okay.
There really isn't much else to say.
Why did you dislike it?
Why did I not like it?
Yes.
It's hard.
I
It's
have
really
to explain myself and we become a friend. What?
well.
I'll say this, John. If you like this movie and not my movies, I was gonna be very mad.
Nah, yeah,
I was
no,
gonna be very upset.
Yeah, I was trying to like.
To be fair, though, your movies are like a 2 for me, and like this was. Dull.
Your movie kept me entertained throughout a little bit more than this one. Like this one had those stale dry patches where like Gabe was saying, like it really showed you the true like realistic parts of them going through, and I don't know, like it's not always action go kind of thing, but I don't know, maybe that's
Because I would argue their action points in the movie were kind of stale to me. Like when you compare other action from other movies, I didn't think their action. So I like whenever the action actually happened at the end there, I was kind of like, okay, let's get past this so we can get to this final climactic thing with him and the captain and they kill him or something like that. Like the actual gun firing and all that stuff was kind of stale to me.
I mean, like even the naval battles were, ooh, wow, a cannon shot, whoa,
and like a little piece of wood got blown off.
Yeah, it kept showing like the wind sails, and it was just like, wow, there's a hole through it now. Okay, a lot of good that did for you guys. I don't know, it was just pretty stale throughout. I took a nap like halfway through because I couldn't. I literally took like an hour nap and got back up and like forced myself to like finish it. The doctor was my favorite part. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Not much.
That's
Not much else there.
I'm still just really thrown off by the children, but you know, they had to get them started young.
Okay, here's something. I didn't realize that this like their whole goal for this like movie was that this ship was supposed to go out and find the Archean or however you pronounce it.
Yeah,
that ship. I didn't realize that like they were like supposed to hunt them down and like destroy that ship. Like I just assumed like they got bombarded by this ship and then they ran away, and the captain, who was like, fuck that ship, we're going after them and we're gonna die trying kind of thing. Like I thought he was like this like dumbass, like not level-headed at all kind of like captain, and just like putting everybody at risk. But then coming to movie club, you guys enlightened me.
Well,
And I was just left confused the whole time because I just assumed like he was just like forcing himself. Like everybody was telling him, dude, cut it out, like let's go back to the islands for a week, let's recuperate, let's get all this kind of stuff done, and he's like, no, and then everybody has to listen to him.
Nah.
Yeah.
I mean, at the beginning it did say that they were tasked with tracking Archeon.
Now that I like look back on it,
You know, you
I read
read
that.
and you don't know what the fuck what's an Archeon? A boat?
Yeah.
Is it that boat? I don't know.
And
That's true.
It
I
said
didn't
it was
think
a
about
boat.
that.
It said the Archeon, and then
intercept the French
described the
privateer
boat.
Archeon
Yeah.
en route to Pacific. Like I could have made sense
no,
out of it.
but they didn't go like, oh shit, there's the Archeon and it's shooting at us from the fog. They were just like, oh, we're getting fucking attacked. Get the fuck down.
I feel like that's your own fault for not.
We're
assuming that
idiots.
It wasn't the Archeon.
We are stupid idiots, and
That's
you
my own
are
fault.
an intellect.
Yeah, I am not blaming the movie for my fault on that one.
Yes.
I think it was
But-
interesting how in like the French-English War, whatever it was called, they have fucking ships over near Brazil. It's like you were two
Yeah.
countries like 2 feet away from each other on the other side of the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah.
You got
Gotta
ships.
protect their colonies.
Oh yeah, I guess. They did say that the ship was trying to get to the Pacific. Like, all right, took the long way around, but sure.
That's how they used to do it back then.
I know.
See,
That's
if
it.
it's military strategy, you would know.
Also, like how you called the Archeon like the ship of the future. I'm like, in less than 100 years, the U.S. will have steel ships.
Yeah.
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 Well, it was American made, so that was.
That's true.
Yeah, go America.
did
Woo!
Yankee made.
Yankee made. It was yeah. I think overall, like looking at our averages and our thought process, I think overall it was okay. I think if we look at the
That's what I kind of said last week. If you go listen, I'm like, this movie won't be reviled, but didn't think it was going to get a lot of love either.
I'm actually surprised I didn't love it more because I have a lot of
She
expectation
loves
for Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe.
I just have a lot of expectation. for Russell.
Gladiator's good.
I do like. You know what? There's something about it as a child that I know that I think I don't. I have like this memory that it really, really like made me sad. So
It's a
I
sad
know it's
movie.
good. I know it's a good movie, but as a child, I think I watched it like in theaters with my mom, and I remember being like, I need to go like watch Mickey Mouse or something afterwards. Like,
I'm sad.
I'm sad.
So, Julie, your pick for next week is Waterworld, right?
Okay,
Oh, I don't.
Yeah.
He wants to
No.
hurt Jeff.
Yeah, I was
What's
just trying to.
Waterworld?
It's some really shitty action movie where it all takes place on boats.
Oh, that's funny. I should. Oh, part of my movie is going to take place on a boat.
Oh dear lord.
Is it the Titanic?
No. Oh shit! It should have been though. If I want to waste 4 hours of your lives. No. It's next week. We are going to watch my #1 movie of 2016, Kubo and the Two Strings.
Kubo.
Kubo!
and the Two
You know-
Strings.
Kuba!
The first time I saw that movie, I watched it
And he
in
cried.
Chinese with English subtitles.
Really?
Oh, this mother.
Because I watched it in Japan with this Chinese girl in her room.
Oh,
Ooh.
shit. Yeah.
Classy.
Who has seen it? Who
Don't
has
watch
seen it?
this. Don't-
Yeah, who's seen it?
I have.
Not me.
Anyone else?
No.
Yes.
I have. So it looks like it's just Mike
And Jeff,
Jared.
you haven't seen it in English, right?
No, I've not seen it in English.
Okay, cool.
I don't
okay,
even think Jeff even saw it the first time. 'Cause he's distracted.
Kubo. It was on Netflix, but now it's not anymore.
Yeah, it's not
Um,
anymore. I own actually 2 copies of it, so
Please be on Canadian Netflix.
it is phenomenal. Hopefully, you guys will enjoy it. You can rent it. What, Johnny? What's going on with you?
Very expensive to rent. Holy cow.
Really?
Just
Ooh.
$9.
On a website that
It's on-
does.
Voodoo is like $3.
Yeah, Voodoo is for $3. $3.99 on iTunes. Holy shit, $8.99 on YouTube. Yeah. So, I bet you could find it at your local Redbox too, because it's fairly like, I don't know. Just look for it. You'll find it. I believe in y'all. Technology.
All right. Anyways, watch Kubo and the Two Strings, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
See ya.
There you go.